My name is Steve Stevens, the best sports consultant money can buy. I make more money betting sports than anybody in the world. I'm the one that tells you who to bet. I'm not a bookie, I'm the bookie killer.
If money talks, then I got a lot to say. I'm on the grind trying to make $100,000 a day. The game that I pick, believe me, it's a winner. What I know could get you rich, cause all I pick is winners. Welcome to Las Vegas. Money talks, money talks. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the VIP Sports Podcast. I'm Darren Otero, a.k.a. Steve Stevens, a.k.a. the Bookie Killer. They call me El Capitan in the streets because I'm running this shit. Got a nice special guest for you today. Got our boy Big Ron Murkison in the motherfucking house. What up, Ron?
Same old thing, man. Just swinging and banging.
Swinging and banging. And boy, we got a good show for you today. Ron's here on the show. We're going to talk about the state of sports betting today versus back in the day when you used to play. You know, Big Ron played for the Patriots, did a major football career, did his thing till he blew out. What'd you blow out?
Oh, man, a couple injuries. It's timing, man. That's what we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we will, because you're actually under that the concussion thing from the NFL as well. You're all part of that, right?
I'm a part of it.
We'll dip into that a little bit as well.
Smoke and mirrors.
Smoking motherfucking mirrors. Anyway, guys, today's February 23rd, podcast number 351, and let your bookie know I got that gun, and we're ready to shoot his ass down. Show sponsored by our boys over there at BlueChew. Get a hold of us, 877-220-6540. Go to our website, VIPSportsLasVegas.com. Put your number into the website. We'll get back with you with a free pick. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at VIPSportsLV. If you don't want to call, direct message me is probably the best way about going to do business. Remember, guys, we will not DM or spam you about any contests or promotions. So if you get contacted by an account with my picture that says they are me, make sure you look for that blue check to know that you're actually dealing with El Scorcho himself. We have to shut down anywhere from 10 to 20 fake accounts every fucking day.
Yeah, probably
I have to shut more fake accounts down a day than I get new followers. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, probably more.
Unbelievable. Anyway, guys, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts at. Click the bell on YouTube to receive notifications on all videos we post, and we greatly appreciate your thumbs up, and we do read all your comments. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe now. Also, haven't done this in a while, want to give a shout out to our troops. You know, a lot of shit's going on right now. I want to give a shout out to all active military, guys that are retired. Just thanks for having our back and keeping us safe with all the tensions going on around the world. We greatly appreciate you guys. But anyway, we got some sports news. Before we get into sports news, appreciate you coming and do the show with me on the last minute, brother.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to come in with the GOAT.
You know what I mean? So what I want to talk to you about, Big Ron, is, you know, the state of sports betting is right now. Now, you know, a lot of these people in this industry, they're under the assumption that a game that looks good on paper is a game that can play out on paper.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are fucking sadly mistaken. Like, for instance, back in the day when you went to college, basketball. Well, I mean, what's the difference between it now and then and now?
Well, you got old school basketball, and there's more money. Let's get to the front of it all.
The sports betting end.
Yeah, the sports betting, the money. There's more money in the U.S. in sports than there ever has been. You've been able to bet in states that people never could believe you could bet in. And when there's more money in the game, there's more funny shit that goes on. I mean,
it's like you said, everyone's got skin in the game. So a game that, well, not to mention like back when you went to school when they played basketball, it was rough and tough.
Oh, it was rough and tough.
Broken fucking ankles, broken fingers, the whole 9 yards.
You come in and get a forearm to your chest, no foul called.
You go hard through the whole fucking game, and these players were playing all the way through. These times are a little bit different.
A lot different.
Ingrown toenail, ingrown fingernail, even a hangnail, they're out for 3 games.
Yeah. You brush somebody's arm like you would touch your girlfriend, it's a foul.
Exactly. And just like football, like when you played, like that example you were telling me earlier about the time you hit the hit, like what were you talking about?
Oh, man. This was some years ago. I want to say 94, 95. You all can look it up, but it's a game in Boulder, Colorado. I went to University of Colorado in Boulder. And it's a game in Boulder with Nebraska. Nebraska is probably ranked number 1 or top 3 teams in the nation. So each conference wants to push a team to go to the national championship. And how do you do that? You keep that team that's in that conference undefeated, so they're going to play for the big game. More money comes to your conference when they win that big game.
100%.
More notoriety comes to your conference when you win that big game. We were the underdog in that game. We were ranked lower than them. However, Armand Green, I believe it was Armand Green, he clearly he comes up through the gap, running play. I'm about to make a tackle. One of our guys hits him or strips him. He's standing up straight as a board. I mean, straight as a board. Knees not even close to the ground. They're straight up in the air, you know, how you would run. Fumbles the ball clearly. One of our guys, Kenny Wilkins, runs it back for a touchdown. I look back, and I'm standing right in front of the referee, and he's waving it off, saying there's no touchdown, that Armand Green was down. And that was the first time I ever saw that no matter how
with your own eyes.
Yeah, with my own eyes. No matter how hard we play the game, no matter how true you are to the game, that a referee, a zebra, who's got, if you think about it from our standpoint, they didn't come out to see the referees run around on the field, but their calls are so important. Clear fumble. And I'm thinking to myself, why would he say it's not a fumble when everybody and their mama could see that this guy standing straight up and down? And that's when it clicked for me.
That's just something that you viewed with your own eyes on the field, but you've realized that's been going on the
it's
entire
been
time.
going on
And
forever.
as sports betting has progressed, like you said, people have more skin in the game. My point being, guys, is just because a game looks good on paper, 7 out of 10 times, you're not even in control of the fucking game.
You're not.
The referees control these motherfucking games.
Yes, they do.
Period.
Well, think about that story I told you. If you're a sports bettor and you know all of you out there that have bet at sports or know about sports, that's a 14-point swing. That's the difference between them going to score a touchdown and us getting 7 points the opposite way. That's a 14-point swing.
They call it the backdoor cover.
Yep.
People get blasted by it every fucking day.
14 points in a football game. That's a huge swing. That's a huge damn swing. And when you're putting your money on these games, I'm just saying be careful. Don't just think you're some guru and you know everything. This country and this world is about who you know more than it is about what you know. I don't give a damn what you know. Who you know controls the damn game.
That's what I've been telling people from day fucking one. You guys think that you see games that look good on paper, you're special handicappers, you're sitting at home in your underwear in front of a computer. Let me tell you the difference between you and me. You don't deal with any players. You don't deal with any coaches. You don't know any referees. You don't know any referee matchup. You don't even get these type of against the spread things because they're not on any public view. So, you know, what I constantly try to pound these people and why they need to work with me is because I work with players, coaches, CEOs, the guys that make the lines out here in Las Vegas. So to actually be a good sports bettor takes a lot more than thinking you're a handicapper on games that look good on paper.
Now, Steve, let's talk another perfect example. The biggest game that got played this year, the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Let's talk about the end of that. In a normal, fair game, in football, you can call a penalty every single play of the damn game. Every single play, whether it's on the O-line, whether it's with the receivers and DBs, I don't care if it's illegal, hands, holding, whatever you want to call. At the end of that game, it just so happens, right when the Rams need it, it's in L.A., the NFL wants this team to win this championship.
It was set up for L.A. the whole time.
Thank you. The spread is, it moves between, 3.5 to 4.5, bounces back and forth, people moving money everywhere. The dog number was the way to go. Okay, we know that now. However, at the end of the game, how is it that 3 penalties get called within the red zone at the end of that game, and the Rams end up on the 1-yard line with basically 4 plays to get in the end zone? You know, how does that happen? For instance, I play linebacker.
How does it happen? At that point, the refs are controlling the game. And it goes deeper than the refs. It's who has skin in the game. What was the plan of attack? Who are they looking to have win? Who do they want to cover the spread? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so fucking dirty.
Yeah, it is.
And there's so much information on some of these games that no matter how good it looks on paper, it's not how the game is played out all the way through.
And you got coaches and referees that are starting to – most of them are scapegoats. You're not even seeing the majority of people that are involved with this, but you're mostly getting referees even coming out, the Donahue thing. But he was like a scapegoat, you know, Donahue in the NBA, you know, when it came to the whole fixing thing, right? He was a scapegoat But you're telling me he's the only one that was in that whole?
No, he's the one that had to take the fall for
He had to
fucking
take
everything.
exactly.
Real fucking simple.
So if you think that this stuff doesn't go on and people have been speculating about it forever, and we have documentaries about it when it's happened historically through sports, whether it's college football, pro, NBA, basketball, we got to document it. So we're human beings, and everybody knows that human beings do some crazy ass shit and
for money.
And
people will do anything for money. I watch 48 hours every fucking night. People will do anything for money.
Yeah, you got players that got paid to fix games. I luckily didn't see any of that. I saw more of what happened with referees, to be honest.
Right.
As a professional athlete and a top college athlete, I was skeptical of referees ever since the moment I just told you that story. Right?
I bet you weren't skeptical of all them white bitches that were on you out there in Boulder, Colorado. I can tell you that right now. Boy, nothing but ski bunnies,
yeah, there was a lot of snow bunnies up there.
Orgies in that motherfucker would be.
But I will tell you this. Every day, and all of us know, as soon as a man and a woman through history, there's gonna have a time, most likely, that one of them mess around. So if they fucking cheat in relationships, you think they're not cheating in games when there's big money and incentive involved?
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
You don't think there's tension in the locker room when the coach knows that his wife is fucking one of the players and they have it on video? I mean, give me a fucking break, man. So I just wanted to make a point, guys, that sports betting is legit. They try to make it as legit as possible.
Exactly.
And I'm just trying to make the point that you think you know what you're doing. Games look good on paper. You're not in control of this shit.
The point is correct. The point is you don't know everything. Everybody preaches about how much they know, but they never speak about the shit that they don't know or they can't figure out.
So that would make a big difference of working with a guy like me who actually works with these people, gets this inside information about the coaches, if their wife's fucking somebody, et cetera, versus a guy on social media claiming to be world-class.
I've been betting sports a long time, and you need every single advantage you can get when it comes to sports betting. And sometimes the smallest information is the biggest information because it's going to determine the outcome. If you know somebody can't stand someone else or somebody's got more money to gain than losing something, trust me, it matters when they dictate the outcome.
You were with me 2 years ago during the tournament when I went 13-0 in college basketball. How much information did we get with the travel? Them stuck in the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get in their fucking hotel room. Sat on the tarmac for fucking 8 hours.
Yeah.
Just got into town an hour before. Sat in the airport for 18 hours.
Yeah.
That affects it tremendously.
Yeah, it does.
You don't see that on your stat sheet at the sports book.
You don't.
So there's so many elements that go into it. I just wanted to make that a clear point. Let's move into NBA. Stephen A. Smith called Saturday's dunk contest the worst dunk contest in the history of basketball. Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
I agree 100%.
It was atrocious.
It was disgusting. I couldn't even watch it. And it's just like I said the other day, the Pro Bowl is basically flag football now.
Yeah.
And NBA All-Star Game is just an absolute fucking joke.
Yes, it is.
It's just go out there and do whatever you want. Take half-court shots, whatever.
Well, you think about it, there was more marketing and everything and a lot more money involved even back in the day. When Jordan won the championship or Dominique Wilkins won the dunk contest, Jordan wins the dunk contest, that equated to big money.
Correct.
Big advertisement, big shoe sales.
It's all a joke now.
Yeah.
They were dead serious
Yeah.
about winning that motherfucker.
Yeah. These guys don't care. If you even look at the names that are in the dunk contest, it's not the top players. No. It's some guy some of the players don't even hardly touch the floor that
Correct.
are in that.
So, and I agree. We don't see the people we want to see. And it's same. Let me ask you this in the All-Star game. Even though we have injuries, make the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl, obviously, to make it easy or whatever. Would you rather it go back to like back in the day where they actually get a certain amount of money if they win the game and you'd rather see them hit hard? Or do you agree with the little flag football?
There should be some type of incentive. And the one thing they got right with the All-Star game, even though that's set up in a way within itself, is there's some benefit to whichever team wins that game. There always should be incentive in any game that you play. So for the Pro Bowl, for instance, I wish it was set up more old school because you don't even always get the best players. There's been several years where these players sit out and there's no incentive. You normally don't have most of the players from the championship teams in it, and I know that's starting to change again.
Would you go to the extent to where, as an NFL, if you're selected for the Pro Bowl game, that it's mandatory you play? Would you go that far?
That's an interesting question, man.
Or do you feel as a player you have that decision?
That I would have to think more about because, I mean, you got some guys out there that are worth.
Motherfuckers want to see Tom Brady.
Yeah, they want to see
At
Tom
the
Brady.
All-Star game.
But then again, you got some guys out there like some of the best players that really, that one game that they're not getting paid the same amount that they would in the season could cost them, what, $50 million?
Correct. You know how many players caught cases out here in the clubs? And
Oh,
that?
yeah.
So here's my other point, okay? It used to always be in Hawaii. There's no problems out there. You take your money out there. You bring your wife. You bring your family. Bring your mistress. Go play in the Pro Bowl game. Do you think that even though these guys are professionals and it's their job to be professionals, do you think it's smart to have a Pro Bowl in Las Vegas? And another question on that, do you think it's smart to have the fucking college NFL draft in Las Vegas?
Okay. We might.
You're ruining players' careers before they even get started.
We might, and I'm glad we finally have something we probably disagree on. I think it's a great idea.
You think the NFL draft is a great idea in Vegas?
Yes, I do. I think it's a great idea. I think all of it's good for Vegas. You know,
Well,
I'm all about Vegas. I think it's good for the players too because at any one point you're an adult person. These guys come out to Vegas anyway. They come out when they have their own personal groups that they get together. Sometimes teams set up trips. I'm telling you,
You have the best players in college football coming here all at the same time.
Yes. I'd rather expose them earlier
with the
than later.
best-looking women, the best clubs,
Yes.
drugs, every fucking thing available.
So
to you.
this is where I understand where you're coming from. However, I disagree. It's something they're going to have to deal with anyway.
No, that's my point. So as a grown-ass man,
that
and a
grown-ass
professional,
man, you got to handle your business.
Right.
And you got to be able to deal with the worst situations and the best situations
So-
and making the best decisions. Now,
True,
which
makes you an elite athlete anyway.
Let's get to the truth of it. If we sit there and say you bring 100 men, just random men, out to Vegas, right? For whatever reason, and there's a huge
Bachelor party.
Bachelor party.
They're going to go fucking berserk.
Now there were thousands of NFL players out here, right? The big name that we're talking about. Let's cut to the chase. We're talking about the running back. We're talking about Kamara from the Saints who got arrested out here. If you bring 100 guys out here partying their ass off, letting their hair down, just random guys, it's going to probably be 10 of them. It's going to be 5 to 10 of them that are going to get in some shit.
And, and by the way, I got the real story on that Kamara.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got the real
That's
story.
interesting.
Do you know that the dude had grabbed her ass and was talking shit to her, the guy thought she was a prostitute.
Oh, he thought one of the girls.
No. So now I'm going to ask you as a man. You're with your lady. You're in Las Vegas. Some drunk-ass dude's coming up, disrespecting your girl, talking to her like a prostitute. Now, when you're married, you know that you're one person, right?
Yeah.
So to beat somebody down for something like that, to me, is a green light.
I got a perfect answer for that. And I challenge any man who's a real man to answer that truthfully. If someone does that to your girlfriend, let alone your fiance or wife, I'm beating his ass. And you know what?
And my homeboys are too.
I'm not gonna go through some checklist of what's right and wrong and how far you're supposed to go.
Shit to my wife,
you just put your hands on a woman who didn't give you permission to, and she's somebody else's woman. Yeah, you need your ass beat.
Verbally abusing her like she's a prostitute.
You need your ass beat.
Period. So Kamara, it was a fucked up situation, but I'm born and raised in Vegas. I know the security at the hotel, got to the bottom of it. And there's a good chance that
most men I know would do that.
Every man.
Oh.
Well, there's a lot of bitches.
Well,
out
there's
there.
a couple.
Yeah, there's some soft ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's always a little
day.
softness somewhere.
NBA question from a fan: who was a better duo, Shaq and Kobe, or Michael and Scottie?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I'm gonna screw everyone up with this, and they're gonna say I'm wrong. But my personal thing, Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and Kobe, just two powerhouses.
Yeah, two powerhouses. And
Scottie played well with Jordan.
Yeah.
By himself, he was okay. Kobe, superstar by himself. Shaq, superstar by himself. Michael Jordan, the kingpin. Yeah. Did you see when he came out on the All-Star game? It was a whole nother level,
it
bro.
was huge.
I got the fucking chill.
Oh, it was
the
huge.
boss is in the fucking building. You know
now,
what I mean?
will go back to what you said, though. Best player ever, hands down, Michael. Pippen, awesome player. hands down. But when you're talking about power dynamic, like putting superheroes together, it's hard to go past Kobe and
It
and
really
Shaq.
is. And R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, man.
R.I.P.
We fucking lost a
Always.
legend. Also in a 2-on-2 game, would you bet to win in a straight-up game to 11 by ones, and why?
Oh, straight up game to 11 by ones. That's old school. That's old school. That's what that is. The 1-point shit. I would do that because it gets really competitive. And
It's
going to
be hard to shut Shaq down.
Oh, it'd be hard. It'd be hard.
So let's just come right out with it. Shaq and Kobe, Michael, Scotty, straight-up game to 11 by ones. Who wins?
Oh, shit, man. You put me on the – hey, I'm not even going to play the political
Mike's
game.
going to get his business
You
done.
can't
Scotty
stop Shaq. Who the
can't.
fuck is going to stop Shaq?
You can't. It's going to be Shaq and Kobe that
Oh,
get that
my
W
God.
all day long.
He gets down low in the post. What are you going to – a primetime Shaq, how do you even do anything? You can't body him up. You can't do
Dude's
anything.
4 foot over the rim.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even shoot rainbows.
It's not even fair.
Remember,
now,
that's a half-court 2-on-2 game. This isn't a full game where you're milking him, getting him out of position.
yeah, it's not fair,
Scotty
man.
ain't doing nothing to him. He
Now-
ain't backing him down or doing nothing.
Yeah, it's not fair.
So, there you go. Major League news. The sides will meet again on Wednesday as spring training remains on hold until a new collective bargaining agreement is reached or the owners decide to lift the lockout. This fucking
MLB is getting – it's becoming a headache, and they don't realize they're ruining the chance for a future fan base with all this bull crap that they're doing. Every other year you're seeing this major thing between
Yeah, I know. It's
between
getting a little
the
tiring.
big wigs and the players. Yeah,
It is. Well, that would be a whole nother podcast because there are players out there that think they're owners and they're too good.
Exactly.
They forget who the fuck wrote them the check.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, I understand ain't nobody own nobody, but when a team pays you to do a fucking job, it's your job to do it to the fullest extent and 100%.
And I'm a player advocate, but, I mean, really they kind of – the owners and MLB's kind of created this whole monster. I believe players –
MLB makes more money than everybody. I mean,
Exactly.
NBA gets paid because they play less games. The biggest contracts in history are MLB.
And
Trout, baby, biggest contract out there.
And however, I believe I'm always pushing for someone who never had as much money as some of these owners to get more money from the show, meaning that they're the ones out there playing.
Right.
In any league, more than the owners. The only thing I would say, instead of Trout or the major player on that team, and half these players that are getting these big contracts, they're not even playing the full season, and that's just the nature of the game.
All of them play 100 motherfucking games.
So here's
NBA, though, by far makes the most money per year.
This is what I don't like about MLB. You have a guy like Trout that's making X amount of $100 million or 200 or whatever the number is a year. A year. But then you have another guy on your team making like $500,000 or $750,000. That's the discrepancy I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the players
So you
getting
think
paid.
NBA is a little bit more fair on equaling out the money?
I
based
think
off
all the
talent?
other leagues are compared to the well, the NBA is
Dollar for dollar, NBA by far makes the most. But
Yeah.
MLB just gets those
yeah,
long-term,
yeah, it does.
gigantic
I
contracts.
just think there should be more money spread to the players that are a little bit lower, so that if we're teammates,
You made it.
Yeah, if we're teammates, I'm gonna be happy if you get a $100 million contract. But if I'm making $1 million, you should be able to look at me and say, "Hey, he should be making $4 million."
Yeah, so when I'm driving to the club, being chauffeured by 3 Rolls Royce, spend $100,000 in the club, and you can't even spend 20
Yeah,
grand. Because
yeah.
you're- So it's a little degrading.
We're-
However,
Yeah, we're out there sweating, taking the same risk. So I just wish it was spread out a little more evenly through the players.
MLB news: Oakland A's team president Dave Caval confirmed that the A's have exchanged term sheets on at least 4 different Las Vegas sites surrounding the Las Vegas Strip.
Hell
While
yeah.
Oakland still might make a last-ditch attempt to keep the team has more or less made it clear that the A's are moving to Las Vegas. An NFL team has 8 or 9 home games, while an NHL team plays 41. But a pro baseball team would bring 81 home games to the City of Lights,
Hell
Las Vegas, baby.
yeah, and Moneyball. I love the A's.
I
I've
can't
always liked the A's. If we get the A's, man, that'd be so huge for Vegas.
Las Vegas A's, it's going to be a wrap. Like
Yeah.
I said, and people think real estate is going to fucking crash in Vegas. I got a fucking statement for you. You're out of your fucking mind. Our town is going to get nothing but bigger and bigger and more fucking expensive. So if you're waiting to, I'm going to wait to buy a house when shit crashes in 4 years.
It's not coming down right now.
You might as well go ahead and get your house before you end up in that apartment for your entire motherfucking life.
Exactly.
Coaching news. In the final minute of Wisconsin's 77-63 home game win on Sunday, Coach Greg Gard substituted his walk-ons into the game, but Michigan still had its starters on the floor. And they were full court pressing, which led to Wisconsin's coach calling a timeout very late in the game to settle his walk-ons down. Michigan's head coach, Juwan Howard, was heated after the loss, and he basically threw an open palm punch that stuck to the face of one of the Wisconsin's assistant coaches. Result, Howard is suspended for the rest of the season.
I love Howard. Dumbass move.
Got to be a little bit more professional.
Whoever loses is cool.
You know how many
Always
times
pays
coaches
the price.
want to slap and hit a motherfucker? You just can't do it. It's your job.
You can't do that. And
Bad look for the
what's
game.
What's
period.
funny? Nobody's talking about the other guy. That guy had to do or say something.
He was running his mouth
Yeah,
big time.
it wasn't just a regular thing. Nobody's talking about that. Juwan shouldn't have did what he did. That's a prime example of one little mistake costing you just huge for the rest of your
Well, here you
career.
are trying to train these men to go to the next elite level. Just not a good example.
You know, he's setting a bad example. It's almost like he was better off with one of his assistants or something. It looking bad with one of them tackling him or something, preventing that from happening.
No doubt. NBA news, Phoenix Suns guard Chris Paul will be out for the next 6 to 8 weeks because of a fracture in his right thumb. Phoenix has the best record in basketball, 48-10. You think they can still pull it together and have a chance to win the championship?
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree. NBA, after Toronto and San Antonio gave up on him, DeMar DeRozan is averaging 28 points per game, and despite not having his top teammates on the court during the first half of the season. DeRozan has led the Chicago Bulls to a 38-21 record, which is tied for the best record in the Eastern Conference. With the Miami Heat, here's my question. How impressive has DeRozan been this season?
I think he's been amazing. I'm not just pumping it up because of everything you said about the guy, but just think about it. This is a guy that left Toronto years ago, right? And there were a lot of things being said about it. He came out and talked about the mental health issues, right? And it was all real shit for him. It was stuff he was living, but for him to persevere through all this and represent, he's always been a great player.
Agreed.
To represent the way he has, I think it's an amazing story.
Get your fucking money. James Harden is expected to make his season debut for Philly this Friday on the road against Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Harden?
Yeah, I think he's feeling like he made
Oh,
a major motherfucking mistake.
See, the problem I have with Harden and a lot of these guys now with these moves and a lot of the perimeter shooting, it's a hot and cold thing, and he's normally extremely hot. The problem is he's putting up so many shots that takes away from possessions from people who are taking better shots. And you're giving up on the defensive end. That guy ain't playing no defense. Harden is not playing any defense. So any team that thinks they're going to win a championship, and I could be wrong, to win a championship, you got to have a couple dogs on defense, probably 3 dogs on defense to make up for what Harden doesn't do on defense.
So you think they're giving him the benefit of the doubt of who he used to be? Because don't get me wrong, that motherfucker used to go to the hole. He used to hog that ball, shoot it when he was supposed to. Now he passes on the regular.
I think he's a great offensive player, which goes back to the same thing in any league, even in football. Defense wins championship at some point.
Period.
This guy is not going to lock somebody down with a minute left in the game. At the end of the game, there's going to be a difference. It's crucial.
The last 5 minutes is the entire game.
Why do you think Jordan was so great? Why do you think Kobe was so great? They could play defense when they needed to at an elite level.
Yeah, till the very end.
Point one time to me Harden has ever played any type of defense at an elite level. And I challenge anybody on that. You can't point to it. If anything, you got whole reels of bloopers and when he's not guarding anyone and looking silly on defense. I don't believe any team is going to – I think they have a worse chance at winning the championship when you got a guy like that who's not – he's only playing half of the game.
So here's my question to you. Who do you like to come out of the East this season? Chicago, Miami, Philly, or do you think the Nets still have a chance?
I think the Nets still have a chance because the NBA wants that narrative to sort of happen. And then –
back to what we talked about in the beginning of the show.
Exactly. It's who they want. Who's gonna cause that drama? Who's gonna get those ratings up?
People forget professional sports is for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
No different than WW fucking.
The players feel it the worst emotionally, and then the fans. I have to give it to you, fans too. The people that love these teams, you feel it too. But there's a game beyond the game, and
that's what they need me for.
exactly. So there's the game beyond the game, and there's how you build it up in your heart and your mind, and then there's the reality. You know.
Let's move into college basketball. That's brought to you by our boys over at Blue Chew. Fall is here, and we could all use a stiff breeze. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help you in the bedroom, especially when it comes down to stepping up to the plate. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Yeah. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, but the chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the U.S. and prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package. Guys, there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help you give you confidence where it fucking counts. We got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew for free when you use our promotional code VIP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promotional code VIP to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, and we do thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our show.
Yes, we do.
Recap, I said Texas Tech is a red-hot 10-2 against the spread in the Big 12. Result, Texas Tech won and covered 61-55 against Texas on Saturday. Texas Tech is also 9-1 against the spread against ranked opponents this season. Another recap, I said Alabama is just 2-10 against the spread in SEC conference games. Result, Kentucky covered by the 6-point spread with a 90-81 victory over the Crimson Tide, handing Alabama yet another conference loss against the spread.
Important information.
Another recap, Missouri Valley Conference. I said Valpo is red hot to the over. Result, Valpo hit the over in 2 straight games on Saturday and again on Monday against Evansville. The Valpo has hit the over in 7 straight games.
Damn.
Another recap
Free
in Missouri
money.
Valley. I mean, this is shit I'm giving these guys ahead of time.
Money.
Missouri Valley Conference, I said Loyola Chicago's 10-1 to the over at home this season. Result, Loyola Chicago and Drake combined for 159 points, which was 25 points over the total.
Wow.
These are games that I'm giving these motherfuckers week in week.
Yeah.
Another recap. I said Eastern Illinois 12-2 to the under on the road this season. Result, Eastern Illinois and Tennessee State combined for just 112 points, which was 15 points below the total of 127.
Yeah, all you over bettors, listen to that one.
Let's do some previews. MAC Conference, Western Michigan at Bowling Green. The trend, we've been promoting this team all season, and Bowling Green is now 14-2 to the over in conference play, and 21-5 to the over for the entire season. 21-5.
That's
Could
20
you use an
units.
extra
20 units.
19 units all motherfucking day. 21-5, no matter how you slice it, that's 19 net fucking units.
Yeah.
Period. Saturday, American East Conference. Mass Lowell versus Vermont. Here's the trend. Vermont's 14-1 straight up in conference games, and Vermont is a scorching 13-2 to the over in conference play. Saturday, Missouri Valley. Valpo at Bradley. The trend, Valpo is 9-1 to the over on the road this season. Moving on to the Sun Belt Conference, another team we talked about is the Georgia State Panthers, who are 14-1 to the under their last 15 games.
Damn.
Panthers' 2 remaining games are both at home against Louisiana Monroe and Louisiana Lafayette. Also in the MAC Conference Friday, Akron at Ohio. The trend, Ohio Bobcats are 10-2 to the over at home this fucking year. Southern Conference, Saturday, Virginia Military at Western Carolina. The trend, Virginia Military is remarkable 12-2 to the over on the road this season. Here's an inspiring story. A Virginia high school senior who was born with no right leg and no left leg that ends at the middle of his thigh took home a state wrestling championship, surprising everybody but himself. Here's his quote. Really, if you work hard, you can do anything, even win a state championship without legs. Adonis Lattimore said Saturday after winning first place in the Virginia High School League Class 6 106-pound weight class.
Way to go, Adonis.
A guy with no legs goes out there, gets the job done, and says, no big deal. Anybody that puts their mind to anything, works hard, dedicates themselves, can accomplish anything.
Can make it happen.
Anyway, Big Ron, I appreciate you for coming by. You know, we needed to give out some information. You know,
Always
guys,
100.
They need to understand games that look good on paper don't necessarily mean how they're going to end up. You want a true sports consultant that works directly with players, coaches, CEOs, gives you ref stats, how the refs perform at home, how these particular refs perform on the road. That's why you need to call your boy, get signed up for one of our packages. March Madness is right around the corner.
Yes.
Now is the time to build your bankroll. Not waiting. Do you guys want to go into March Madness using your own money, or you want to go into March Madness using the bookies' money?
Yes, sir.
I'll use the bookies' money all fucking day long. And remember one thing, they don't call me the bookie killer for nothing. Behalf of VIP Sports, myself, Big Ron, the crew, we love you guys. Stay focused, stay aggressive, and remember one thing. Don't let the players be the only ones that get paid.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Don't be the spectator. Get paid. Always.
It must be the money talking.
It's Steve Stevens, I bust your bookie head open. Split it to the white meat, I ain't joking. Me and Dirt Bomb in the ghost float. Straight OG like that kush I be smoking. It's way too potent for rookies to come hit it. A little white girl around, I might sniff it. Popping bub in the club, so twisted. My pops keeps telling me